my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. And today's video is a very special video because today we're going to be talking about Skip and Loafer by Misaki Takamatsu. This is a review that I've been wanting to do on my channel for a really long time. I'm officially caught up to the manga now. At the time of filming this, that is 8 volumes. I watched what is hopefully season 1 of the anime while it was airing. It quickly became one of my favorite anime of all time. I loved it. I love the manga. So with that, I will have the content warnings for this series linked down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into it. Skip and Loafer follows our main character Misumi, who comes from a small country town but is chasing her dreams in a large Tokyo high school, where she quickly finds out that the social norms of city high schoolers are more out of her element than she originally thought. Let's go ahead and start off with the characters, and that means starting with Misumi. She's just such a joy and such a strong protagonist. She's very strong-willed, confident, funny, and incredibly charming. And she's also weird and awkward and just completely herself at the same time. You really see her grow in confidence and also in awareness when it comes to herself and other people throughout the series. She's a character who knows what she wants, she goes after her goals, and she stumbles, but she picks herself back up in really inspiring ways. I also love how observant she is. She's good at communication and just so supportive of her friends and just a nice, incredible person. Honestly, I love her. Let's go ahead and talk about Shima next. He's the popular boy. All the girls want him to be their boyfriend, and you do see him really struggle with that because he knows that many of them are only interested in him for superficial reasons. And you really do see how that impacts his mental health, his actions, and also his relationships. And same thing with his past once that gets uncovered, and I feel like we haven't really seen the full extent of it yet. But he's also super sweet and cares about his friends. I just really want to stick him in therapy, but I do love the growth that I've seen from him so far, and I can't wait to see more. And for all of the adorable, funny, slice-of-life moments that the series has, it also does know how to get into it. I don't think that there's a character in this story that I haven't related to in some way. And while we're talking about Shima, the story does have a huge focus on not judging people by their covers or even their behaviors on the outside, because you don't always know what they've been through or why they behave the way they do. Shima is not the only character that is affected by this, and each backstory and present day story surrounding it is equally as heart-wrenching. I think Skip and Loafer is really good at making you fall in love with the characters. You want to see them thrive and just be as happy as they can possibly be, so seeing them hurting is hard. The next things that I want to talk about are the relationships, and first and foremost we have Misumi and Shima. They do kind of have the opposites attract thing going for them. I mean, she's Skip, he's Loafer, and their friendship is honestly amazing. I love the way that they support each other and communicate with one another, because they're both very observant and very aware, but they're also figuring it out at the same time. Like, even when they're unhappy with each other, they do stumble through it, but at the end of the day, the way they interact feels so healthy and pure and heartwarming. And there are just so many unhealthy relationships in anime and manga out there, even very popular ones. And these two, and also just the series as a whole, feel so refreshing in just so many ways. I love these two. They have so many adorable moments with one another, and I do mean top tier levels of cuteness. And this series does have romance in it, and wherever we end up at the end of the day, I do trust this series to take care of them, and also me. Next up, we are going to stick with Misumi and talk about her and her Aunt Nao. It feels like an understatement to say that the anime and manga industry has not been kind to trans people. So seeing Nao just exist again is super refreshing, but she's also just an amazing character, and I love how much she loves Misumi. Their relationship with one another is so incredibly heartwarming. There is so much love between them, which is something that I can thankfully say for a lot of the relationships in this series, from Misumi and her childhood friends to her family to her Tokyo friends and relationships. She has some really good ones. There is a friend group of 4 in here that she's in that is just everything. And again, each character does have their own thing going on. There are some quote-unquote quote-unquote unlikely connections if you only look at these characters on the surface level and the stereotypes and roles that they would usually fill. Like, even when you look at other anime and manga series, I feel like a lot of these characters would normally be enemies or even rivals with one another, but they just have such a deep, emotional, supportive, and fun friendship. Like, this series just has some of my favorite friendships that I have ever had the pleasure of reading. And on that note, I also do want to give a shout out to Shima and Chris. I feel like I've spent so much of my time with this series just smiling like an idiot. It makes my heart so happy in ways that I can't even describe properly. And I do want to dive further into that support that I mentioned for a second, because again, the series does have its drama and its trauma. I have teared up so many times while reading and watching this series, and yeah, some of it has been from cuteness overload, some of it has been from the inspiring nature of it, but also a lot of it has been from the angst. There is so much more to this series than just a fun, adorable, slice-of-life comedy, and you see these characters not only pick themselves back up and keep moving forward, but you also see them lift each other up. You can tell that they really respect one another and even inspire each other with their own strengths. The series also has a huge focus on doing things at your own pace and not growing up too fast and just having that be okay. Like, go after your goals and work hard, but also make sure you take the time to enjoy the present and enjoy your youth. And again, that all combined with the relatability of the characters and just the story as a whole, I do find the series to be really inspiring. And there is just so much about Skip and Loafer that feels so smart and so thoughtful. And it also does have some really amazing comedy. The characters are super charming and they have some really funny moments. I really love the slice of life moments as well. Romance is also a huge topic throughout the series. I do have my ships, I do have my preferences, but the series is going to do whatever it's going to do, and I know that it'll probably make me love it at the end of the day. Which I'm glad that I do have that trust with this series, because again, the angst and the drama really hits. And this series does have its antagonist and its mean classmates, and I feel like we haven't really gotten to know a lot of the more important ones yet. So I'm at a point where I'm just like, I don't trust you, I don't know what you're up to yet, but whatever it is, I don't think I like it. And I also don't know why so many of my series this year insist on leaving me on angsty cliffhangers for long periods of time. Like, I'm all for angst when I can get the comfort in like a reasonable time period. To say the least, Volume 8 has caused me some pain, and I can't start resolving that pain until more volumes come out. And Volume 9 comes out late May, and it's early December. And I'm just not built for having to wait like this. Like, I'm sure one day I'll look back on this moment and how I feel about this volume present day, and just think of it as part of a fun ride that ends with me being very content, happy, and at peace. Today is not that day, but it will come. And until then, I'm just going to keep focusing on all the cute, funny, and happy moments, because there were so many of those along the way. Like, this is a huge comfort series for me. They have my heart. I love them. They make my day better. And Skip and Loafer is fully sitting at a 5 out of 5 stars for me right now. I don't tend to review individual manga volumes, but I feel like I could with this series. Like, I'm sure I didn't say every thought that I've ever had or wanted to say on this channel about this series in this video, but I do really think that this series just deserves all of the love and all of the success that it could ever have. I'm also going to link their anime opening in the description too, because one, it's amazing, but I also feel like it's a good representation of their vibe and who they are at their core. And it's also just like a full minute and 30 seconds of absolute happiness and cuteness, so there's that too. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer a question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye.